Garden Warfare 1, a masterfully crafted game that perfectly adapted a classic mobile game into an incredible third-person shooter. Then came Garden Warfare 2, one of the greatest sequels ever made that added even more content to the Garden Warfare formula. These two games built a legacy for this series, and so the logical next step was to throw all of that away. This is Battle for Neighborville. After the success of Garden Warfare and the even bigger success of Garden Warfare 2, PopCap, the game's developers, wanted to keep this series going, which was a no-brainer. They knew the chances of this going badly were incredibly slim. They continued to update Garden Warfare 2 and did so for over 3 years, but over time, less and less people were playing the game, and they knew they had to make a big comeback. And so, in May of 2019, EA announced that a brand new Plants vs. Zombies shooter game was in development, and people were hyped. The Garden Warfare community were so happy. EA were finally continuing this beloved series and were making a Garden Warfare 3. That's an interesting way of spelling it. On September 4th, 2019, players were surprised to see the announcement that this PvZ shooter wasn't a Garden Warfare game. Instead, it went by the title Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville. A gameplay trailer was released showcasing the game, and while it looks like a Garden Warfare game, it actually isn't because the pea shooter looks scary. I honestly don't understand why PopCap decided to call it this instead of Garden Warfare 3, because I guarantee the name alone probably turned a lot of people off it. And if that wasn't enough to kill any hype for this game, rather than having any marketing whatsoever, it just came out. No build-up, no teaser trailers, just, hey, game. So Battle for Neighborville was dropped out of nowhere, which resulted in a pretty messy launch, but that's not too big of a deal. What's more important is the actual gameplay. And the first thing I think of when I think Plants vs. Zombies is the characters. Why do they look like that? Looking past them changing the iconic character designs into whatever the hell this is, Battle for Neighborville added 9 brand new characters to the game. Unlike the previous games, BFN splits up the character roster into different classes: attack, defense, support, and swarm. First up on the plants, you've got Nightcap. This character specializes in stealth and attacks by throwing blades, which means that yes, the most annoying person you know will love this character. Her first ability is casting shadows, where she throws a purple smoke cloud, which can be used as something to hide in or offensively as it slows down any zombies in it. Next, there's Feng Fu, where you charge up a flurry of attacks and quickly deal damage to any enemies within its radius. And finally, she has Shadow Sneak, where you briefly turn invisible and gain increased movement speed, which you can use to either get into situations or out of them. Nightcap is pretty fun to play. Being a disgusting sweaty spy main in TF2, I enjoy stealth characters in shooter games quite a lot, but similarly to Spy, dying to this character makes you want to die in real life. A tier. Next, there's Snapdragon. This is a close range character that breathes fire as a main attack and can shoot fireballs as a secondary. His first ability is Swoop Slam, where you fly into the air and then dive bomb, dealing damage on impact. Then he has Blue Blaze, where he shoots a blue homing fireball. And finally, he has Blazing Trail, where you chuck down a wall of fire. This character's pretty good, but let's be honest, this is just a chomper. He looks like a chomper, he plays like a chomper, he's a chomper. Chomper tier. Now before we get on to the next character, I need to quickly mention the sponsor of today's video, Aura. Now many people, you probably included, have been a victim of receiving scam calls, spam emails, the whole shebang. And it would make me really uncomfortable if all my information was just out there for people to take advantage of. And that's why you should use Aura, the sponsor of this video. Aura directly shows you which data brokers are selling your information and automatically submits opt-out requests for you. Doing this not only reduces the amount of annoying spam you get, but it protects you from those sneaky hackers trying to get into your accounts. And that's not all. You get even more features like antivirus, VPN, password management, and more, all in one app at one affordable price. You may already have one or two of these tools, but not having Aura is like locking your front door and leaving the back door wide open. You don't want people coming in your back door. Aura is always on, doing all the hard work, while you can relax knowing that your information is safe. Go to aura.com/MewZe to start your 2-week free trial today, which is linked below in the description. Thank you, Aura, for sponsoring this video. Now back to the yapping. Now the next character, Acorn, is a new type of character. He first has the ability Sap Trap, which is basically a sticky grenade that knocks back opponents, and then he has Acorn Dash, where you quickly spin forward. But where this character gets interesting is with the ability called Invoke Oak. Using this transforms you into a huge oak stump, which other Acorns can board. This means that if multiple people play Acorn, you'll basically have one huge tank on your team. He shoots slow firing explosives that do a lot of damage. You can use Super Sap Trap, which is basically a huge version of Sap Trap. And finally, he has Roll for Damage, where you roll a giant log forward, squishing zombies in its path. This character is pretty good, but if you're playing alone and you need to rely on other random Acorns to help you, it's a little frustrating as the only people still playing this game are babies, but it's probably the coolest concept for a character so far. B tier. Moving on to the zombies for now, we have the 80s action hero. His main weapon is a bow that deals more damage and is more accurate the more you charge it up, which results in this being the most satisfying weapon to use in any game possibly ever. His first ability is Dynamite Dodge, where you drop a stick of dynamite and do a Dark Souls dodge roll. He next has Rocket Ride, which is the most patriotic ability I have ever seen. And finally, he has Can't Missile, which is an incredibly funny play on words. You shoot homing rockets that either lock onto the closest enemy or the last person you hit with your bow. I love this character more than I love myself. Honestly, it's mostly just the main weapon I'm drawn to. It's just so satisfying to use, especially when you get a kill from a country's length away. S tier. Next up is Electric Slide, which is a weird name for a character. She shoots electric bolts, and if you hit a plant enough times with it, they'll get temporarily stunned, which is a mechanic that I'm sure everyone loves. Her first ability is Funky Bouncer, where you throw a magnet that pulls in any nearby plants and will send them bouncing around with it. She next has Outer Fight, where she evaporates, making her temporarily invincible but can't shoot. And finally, she has Disco Tornado, which summons a small whirlwind, but if you time it right and press E when it's next to a player, it expands into a huge tornado, doing tons of damage. If I'm being honest, I don't really like this character. There isn't much to her other than the tornado ability, which I do enjoy, but there are definitely much better options. E tier. And then there's the Space Cadet, and this is basically the zombie equivalent of the Acorn. She can use Gravity Smash to go up into the air and slam down, dealing damage, or Big Bang Theory Beam, which fires a precise laser after charging up. But her main shtick is that she can turn into an entire space station that other Space Cadets can get on. The main attack is a very slow firing laser, but the Space Force ability increases the rate of fire. And finally, there's Crater Maker, where you fly up and shoot an absolutely devastating laser downwards. Similarly to the Acorn, this character is alright on its own, but it's sometimes difficult to use when you don't have other Space Cadets on your team. I would say that Acorn is a bit better though, so I'll give her C tier. Now you may be thinking, MewZe, didn't you say there were 9 new characters? You only listed 6, you scammer, you schemer. Well, don't worry, there are 3 other characters. Wildflower, TV Head, and the Wizard. However, these need to be unlocked, and the way you unlock these characters is through a specific challenge called giving EA $30. Now, I'm alright with some microtransactions, and if you play the game for a very long time and earn 1.5 million coins, then you can get all these characters for free, but the game already costs $30 to buy, and you expect players to spend that twice in order to play the new characters? No. So in protest, and I apologise for doing this because I'm sure they're very fun to play, they're going in F tier, and you have EA in their big greedy pockets to thank for that one. Most of these new characters are pretty great additions. Their abilities are unique, the weapons are satisfying to use, and like the previous games, all the different character variants are sure to be... hang on, let me make a quick call. Yeah, hi, I can't seem to find the character variants. Oh. Really? Huh. Okay, bye. They removed the character variants. This is one of the worst decisions PopCap could have possibly made. The different versions of the classes in the first two games were what made the game different to every other game. And here, it's been replaced by upgrades, which makes it way more confusing, way more boring, and it means that the players who played this game for longer are just gonna have straight up better versions of all the characters. When players realised this, they weren't happy, and it's one of the main reasons why this game failed. But don't worry, it's not the only reason. Battle for Neighborville is different to Garden Warfare, as there is much less focus on multiplayer PvP matches. Instead, it focuses more on free roam. Upon starting the game, you immediately spawn into a huge map containing 6 different regions. Dave Manor and Zomboss HQ are simply the spawn locations for the plants and zombies respectively, and this is where you'll find pretty much the same stuff from the second game, such as the matchmaking portal, character select, and of course, the sticker shop. Sticker shop. Sticker shop? Unlike the past games, however, you'll notice in this area you can actually see other players. And this gets even cooler when you make your way over to Giddy Park, as this is a skirmish area where you can fight actual players in a casual environment. This was one of the few things people wanted from Garden Warfare 2. No longer were you just limited to fighting bots over and over again. Now you could try out new characters and abilities in a realistic environment without having to load into an actual game. You can also ride the Ferris wheel, which is fun. Then there's the 3 remaining areas: Town Centre, Mount Steep, and Weirding Woods. These differently themed sub-regions are where you'll find the game's main quests. You'll go in either as a plant or zombie depending on the area, and you'll find NPCs all around the map, and if you talk to them, you get a quest. And here, the game fumbles again. These quests are boring. They all follow pretty much the exact same layout. Talk to NPC, skip through the unnecessary amount of dialogue, go over to area while fighting enemies, fight something specific, go back, skip through more dialogue, repeat. Obviously there are exceptions to this, but a lot of players really didn't like this type of gameplay. And it's a shame because it feels like the developers were really pushing the PvE over the PvP, and it just wasn't very fun. This complete disregard for what people loved about Garden Warfare is what led to this game's failure. And because of this, most people were calling this game the worst game in the series. But some people still had hope. There was still a chance for Battle for Neighborville to be saved. If the developers just continued to update it, made changes to some of the things people didn't like, and added new content, maybe, just maybe, this game could be great. Oh, they've discontinued it. On September 1st, 2020, not even a year after the game released, PopCap announced that they will be discontinuing the game due to its commercial failure. Players were devastated. After the success of both the first 2 games, seeing this attempted revival of the series completely fall flat was a huge gut punch, and many players simply went back to playing Garden Warfare 2, leaving Battle for Neighborville abandoned. However, I was determined to find out if this game was still playable, and to see if maybe the players were just being too harsh on it. Well, it's time to find out. Oh, that music makes me tingly. I'm just saying, guys, if this game was made today, it would be called Woke Plants vs. Woke Zombies. I said it. I'm the only one brave enough to say it.
Memory of the super material.
See, that guy agrees. Right, come on, MewZe. You were the #1 rated Garden Warfare 1 player of all time. Okay? Hone your skills. First enemy. Destroyed! Second enemy. Nope. Oh, uh-oh. I think that may have been aimbot. Listen, alright, you guys haven't seen nothing yet. Fucking breathe fire! I got that guy all by myself. They're not going to expect the attack from above. 1 zillion damage. Uh-oh. Burn. Burn. Boil. No, don't run. Fucking destroyed. Right, we're doing a bit of a flank here. We're doing a bit of a flank. Uh-oh. You didn't see me. Yep, that went well. Yep. Perfect. Yep. Yep, nicely done. Nicely done. Nicely done. Yes, nicely done. Nicely done. Hide behind this. Shoot that. Shoot them homing things. Beautiful. Hop up in the air. That was not the air. That was ground level. Citron, man, what did they do to you? He looks like the Roblox man face. Looks like this Acorn is airborne. Looks like this Acorn will be A-morned. Guess what, guys? This Acorn just A-spawned. I'll tell you what, Citron had it bad, but good lord, engineer. What happened? Never mind. Ice Spice?
Lacra, keep it a stack. Bitches want me cause they know I got bands.
You thought I was feeling you? Ice Spice, if you're watching, let's run some Battle for Neighborville. Whoa! I'm a freaking goat. Oh, that feels good. That sound is better than most things. Ain't no one falling for that one, buddy. I'm good. Tell you what, that is an awesome tiger. I'm gonna get that tattooed across my entire chest and back. Watch this, guys. No looker. Watch this, guys. No looker. Subscribe. Alright, not gonna lie, this game gets a lot of shit, but I am having more fun playing this than I do when I play Overwatch. So, like, that either says something about this game or about Overwatch. Come back here. Uh-oh. How did that not damage them? Alright, this game's the worst game I've ever made. See, now I have a reason to call it the worst game in the title. Me when dinner's ready. Me when there's vegetables. Like the video if you relate to that one, guys. That's some of my best work. You think you can beat me? Do you know who I am? The name's MewZe, kid. Look it up on Wikitubia. Hang on. This thing's quite good. Hang on. Right, come on, overtime. We can still do this. Come on. I have to win this game, otherwise I'll look like a loser in front of all my YouTube friends. Guys, just so you know, all 200,000 of you are officially my friends. Alright. That's the truth. I hate you all. If there was a rank for best Joker, I would be on there. Guys, like the video, found the best Joker. Critics are calling me the best sniper of all time. I just killed a potted plant. Ah! God, the headshot sound in this game is glorious. I'm actually unbelievable. Someone stop me! Lock me up and throw away the key! Guys, be honest, if I was in court and you were on jury duty, would you convict me? 17, what does this mean? Guys, get map out on this. 1738? Hey? I'm like, hey, what's up, hello? I figured it out, guys. The mystery has finally been solved. Hey, big tree. How about you log off? Right, I'm done. After playing Battle for Neighborville in its current state, I have mixed feelings. I honestly had quite a lot of fun playing the PvP in this game, and that part did feel like Garden Warfare. It's just everything else didn't. I couldn't care less about the PvE missions, and the whole character upgrade system is just so much more confusing than just selecting Cheeto Chomper. I honestly think this game had a lot of potential, but with how many mistakes there were in the game's marketing, changing the main focus of the game, and the unnecessary removal of features that made the first two games special, it was kind of inevitable. The players were right. This is like a Garden Warfare game from an alternate universe where they made all the wrong choices. And it's honestly sad that this is where the series has been left. It's pretty clear that they aren't going to be making another Plants vs Zombies shooter game after the failure of this one. And the fact that what once was a perfect series now has this mediocre stain attached to it is upsetting. Maybe one day PopCap will make a comeback and release a true Garden Warfare 3, but until then, the reality will be that Battle for Neighborville was the last Garden Warfare game we're ever gonna get. And now finally, after going through all three games, I can say that it was the best series nobody plays anymore. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and this 3-part series as a whole, please consider subscribing and liking the video. It helps me out tremendously. And if you enjoyed the gameplay segment, I'm doing more live gameplay stuff over on my second channel. I'll see you next time, and remember,